Welcome back to the Hood Knees podcast. We got episode 9 today. We're going to be covering the AFC North, AFC South. I'm BBTB, aka Bench 550, aka League Winner, aka Do What It Does What It Do. We got the boy Chemo.
Yep.
We got the boy MFB.
You know what it is.
Yes, sir. So we're going to kick it off today with MFB. We're going to kick it off today with the Ravens.
Yes, sir. Covering the AFC North. So everybody already knows nothing new. They added Derrick Henry, right? This is a crazy running back upgrade, right? Now, we know Derrick Henry. He's a tank. He's defied age itself when it comes to fantasy. It's been probably 3 years in a row where people are like, he's old. He's 28 now. He's 29 now. You know, like at some level, there's this whole statistic and mantra of like, yo, RBs get too old, they gonna fall off a cliff. You know what I'm saying? So he's entering age 30, bruh. The big 3-0. Now, is King Henry gonna lose the crown, right? This is something where, and let me ask, the hosts on the show first, and something for the listeners to think about.
Yep.
And it's something you debate every year. Would you rather just kind of fade Henry slightly and be out a year early, or better than a year too late, right? If you follow what I'm saying, right?
Right.
So like I could fade like Henry this year and be like, you know what? I know like for sure by next year, he'll be like falling off a cliff, but I'm predicting it to happen this year, right? But people predicted it last year when he was 29.
Right.
So, so I'm asking y'all, would you rather be out a year early, right? And he still has a great year, or or a year too late, you know what I'm saying? And you take him and he already fell off the cliff.
Man, I'd rather be a year early, bro. I hate having players, like, especially in your first 2 rounds that just suck. It ruins your season, bro. It actually can ruin your season. So personally, I'm more a fan of being a year early, to be out a year early on a player that's kind of fading away.
I'm probably going to go a year late. You know what I mean? That's a high-powered offense. That ball's going to move. The Ravens were great. They just needed another elusive running back. They had J.K. Dobbins, Gus Edwards. They either got hurt or they just weren't as good. You got Derrick Henry fitting in that position. King Henry going to keep that crown, keep that throne. And so I dropped him.
All right. Got a bit of a gambler here, huh?
I'm kind of agreeing with BBTB, bro. I
Really?
personally am high on Henry this year. Yeah, like I like him a lot. Like you look at like Gus Edwards, like went low-key dumb last half of the year, last year, right? And Henry's like tiers above Gus Edwards, respectively.
Easily.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, he's 30, but he was 29 last year, running through people, bro, on a much worse offense, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, I got Henry maybe finishing top 5 personally.
I mean, he's currently ranked as RB7, so
Yeah.
he's going in the beginning of the second round.
Yeah.
I mean,
So why don't you give me some players like around him? Like, we'll see where we're at.
I mean, you got Derrick Henry and is RB7. RB6 is Saquon Barkley. You guys take Saquon over Derrick Henry?
Tough one.
That's a tough one, man. It's a toss up, man, because that one's tough because of the situation in Philly.
Yeah.
I might pull Henry, bro.
I kind of lean Henry, but that one's a coin flip for me. I'm not going to lie to you.
Yeah.
I'm like 60-40 Henry.
Okay. And then Kyron Williams is RB8. Would you take Derrick Henry or Kyron Williams?
Henry without a doubt.
Really?
Yeah, Henry for sure. Yeah.
Okay. I don't know about without a doubt, but I think I kind of roll. I don't know, man. Like I said, I'd rather be a year early than to be a year late. But I think when it comes down to the draft, it's staring you in the face. You got to take Derrick Henry. He's just a beast, man.
Yeah, and that's the thing, bro. You like your early round picks. You have a better, safer chance with the younger dudes.
100%. Yeah, right? No, 100%.
Think about.
Yeah. Any other changes on that offense?
Nah. Mostly same offense. Zay Flowers entering sophomore year.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited for him. I feel like not enough people are talking about him. Like, I don't see him on any sleeper lists. I don't see him as like an upside list. Like,
right.
But I really like him. The only 2 people getting the targets on the offense is going to be Zay Flowers and Mark Andrews. So
yeah, if anything happens to Mark Andrews,
I'll take the number 2 in the Baltimore offense.
Yeah,
100%, definitely. Like I said, if anything happens to Andrews, then I mean Zay Flowers is going to just take over. I think that's it for the Ravens. Anything else?
Nah.
Oh.
Okay, cool. BBTV, why don't you go ahead and tell us about the Bengals?
The Bengals, your AFC North winners. Hot take number something. I don't even know. But I think
All right.
Bengals going to take it this year. Everyone's finally healthy. Jamar Chase, he needs to get his contract signed, but you could tell now everyone's getting their contract signed. IU, CD, everyone's getting
As of
paid.
this recording, yeah. Now, you got paid today, the 29th of August. Yeah.
Yeah, so pretty much everyone's getting paid. Chase is going to get paid. So pretty much the owners see it. Chase is going to do his thing. Joe Shiesty, 5-year, 275 mil. Homie got paid.
Yep.
He's going to do his thing. Offensive line is still as good as last year, you know. You got T Higgins on that offense, and so I'm pretty high on T Higgins this year because they got rid of Tyler Boyd, and Tyler Boyd was low key taking some of the shine. So I personally, since there's no Tyler Boyd, they have some kind of rookie as a wide.
Yeah, 6th round pick.
Yeah,
Andre something.
I don't know how to pronounce it, but Andre Iosif.
Yeah,
Andre Decoy.
Irrelevant. Yeah, running cardio out there.
Just cardio. The only downside, they lost Joe Mixon, but they have Zach Moss. They have, I think it's Jake Browning or something Browning.
Chase Browning.
Browning.
So I think that's a committee right there, but I think they're leaning towards Chase Brown or whatever his name is.
Really? Zach Moss is listed number 1 on the depth chart.
Yeah, but I think in the preseason he was doing his thing though.
So, I mean, you don't always play starters. Yeah,
it's likely to be a near 50-50 right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
But if you were to ask me, and like if anybody was listening previously to the podcast, you know, like I'm trying to take the dice rolls on one of the 50-50 backfields because it could be a very high value if you hit. So
right.
I do lean more Brown than Moss, but that's just like it's very 50-50.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
This is a tight end, not an upgrade, not a downgrade. They got rid of Hayden Paris, added Mike Gesicki from Miami Dolphins or New England Patriots, wherever he came from. But the offense is still healthy, looks good, looked really solid, still a great defense. I think they drafted a tackle, by the way. They upgraded their O-line, drafted a tackle, by the way, with their 18th pick. Bengals should be solid.
Okay.
It looks really, really good.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. What do you guys, I mean, Jamar Chase is right now currently going as the wide receiver 3 in Sleeper. Do you guys like him there? Do you guys think there's anyone better than him? Is he better than anyone above him? It's just CD and Tyreek above him.
I sure got CD and Reek above him.
Okay.
I think, I mean, assuming he can hopefully sign soon, right? They're waiting for that.
Yeah.
I feel like he's going to the facility but not practicing. If I read the news correctly.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah,
I think that's correct. Last I saw, yeah.
I feel like, I mean, he's poised for like a really good season this year for sure.
Yeah.
And he has some insane games. Like every year, he has like 1 week, he drops like 40 plus.
Yeah.
Like what? Like bruh, it's kind of nuts. But
yeah. I mean, I put Jamar Chase. Yeah, he's. I might take the dice roll on him over CD. I think Tyreek goes above both those guys, though, in my opinion.
Really, but, you have Chase over CD?
I just feel like this is going to be his year. I don't know. That's just a gut feeling. It's less about stats and stuff. Don't quote me if he finishes at the end of the season wide receiver 10 or something.
Gotcha. So it's like
don't go back to this.
An emotional.
Yeah. Pretty much, yeah. Do you guys want to go over anyone else for the Bengals? Anything else?
T. Higgins, solid wide receiver 2. If you can get him in the draft, falls to you, take him. Pretty much it.
Yeah, T. Higgins is good. You should definitely try and swoop him if you can. Mm-hmm. Let's move on to the Cleveland Browns. So they signed Jerry Jeudy, so nothing there. Chubb's still injured. And apparently the soonest he can be back is week 5. If he comes back week 5, that'd be pretty good, honestly. He's going late in drafts, so he's a really good value pick there. Wide receivers, Amari Cooper's obviously still there. And Elijah Moore is now the 3rd wide receiver on the team. irrelevant. Njoku's the tight end. He did really good with Flacco. He didn't really have a big connection with Deshaun Watson, I feel like. So that's going to be something to kind of look out for. Can he keep up his production with Deshaun Watson throwing him the ball? And they have James Winston as the backup QB. I guess Joe Flacco's gone. So, yeah, I don't know how you guys feel about this offense kind of as a whole. How do you guys feel about Jerry Jeudy? Do you even look in his direction? Is he Mr. Relevant? Is it all going to go through Amari Cooper and Njoku? What do you guys think?
I'm not a fan of that offense. I don't think the offense will produce. You got Amari Cooper. Amari Cooper might do some good things here and there, but I'm kind of fading all Browns players, to be honest. Like when I see Amari Cooper in that 4th round, I'm obviously fading him. I'm just not a fan of the Browns in general.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. B?
I think Amari Cooper's fine with where his ADP is.
Right.
Jeudy, I'm not too sure about. This is kind of offense where, like, you know, like they ended the season with Joe Flacco, right?
Right.
Who was slinging it. Man.
Yeah.
Low-key fantasy savior last year for some people.
Yeah.
AKA myself.
Yeah, I remember that,
Yeah, but like when Deshaun Watson was in, I don't know, man. Are we ever going to see the Deshaun Watson of like years ago? Like, I really don't know. Because he didn't like open the season too hot last year.
Yeah, so he was pretty bad.
It just really depends. Can Nick Chubb come back healthy? It was a terrible knee injury.
Oh, dude, his whole knee like twisted. That was disgusting
like
to watch.
Jerome Ford's okay, right? Nick Chubb will be back, you know, earliest week 5, possibly longer. So it's a lot of question marks.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's something. It's tough. It's tough to get a read on, I'll say.
Yeah, I think the only players you really go for is Amari Cooper and just Nick Chubb, and just kind of stash him on your bench.
Or in Joker, you know, he could also see heavy target share. I don't know how much target share Jeudy will command. It's something that, like, it's one of those things. Definitely, you have to wait till the season starts and see how it plays out.
Yeah, and Joker's going end of round 8, so he's ranked tight end 10. So I don't know what you do with that information. Back to Amari Cooper. He's going currently as wide receiver number 24 in the middle of the 4th round. Do you guys take him there, or do you wait till the 5th round?
I would not take him there. Not even close. Would not want that risk.
So you would take Stephon Diggs over Amari Cooper? He's going 100%. Next. Okay.
I probably would as well for Diggs.
T. Higgins?
Yes. I'm huge on T. Higgins.
I might take Cooper over T.
I think I take Cooper being the wide receiver 1. I mean, I don't. Yeah, that's where it kind of switches for me. But I actually put Amari Cooper over Stephon Diggs. I just don't know about that offense with the Texans, and there's too many options out there for me. Okay. Nick Chubb, like I said, he's going late in drafts. If you can snag him a little early, do it. Reach for him. He can win you your season. Let's go ahead and move on to the Steelers. MFB, can you give us the news on the Steelers?
Yes, sir. Everybody's favorite dude, new OC in town at Pittsburgh, Arthur Smith, baby.
Man.
I mean, hey, he's not head coach. He's just OC. So
I don't know what's worse.
I mean, you know, I read something interesting that when he was OC on the Titans before, he wasn't bad, right?
Yeah, with Derrick Henry there, I'm sure he didn't do too bad.
Yeah, I guess prime Derrick Henry, right? So they weren't bad, right? As far as that, man, Pittsburgh's been kind of like, I mean, their coach is still amazing, right? Mike Tomlin is like low key, like underrated coach. Like I think there was some stat where like they never had a losing record, like below 500 in like years, right? So like they somehow always win games, right?
Yeah,
we just don't think of it from a fantasy perspective because it's like grindy, like very grindy games.
Yeah, true.
But with that being said, right, 2 whole new QBs, massive upgrades from last year, right? Last year where they were relying on Kenny Pickett, Mason Rudolph, and the likes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
That's what
yeah, Russell Wilson sucks. Justin Fields kind of a letdown, but
Yeah.
still a massive upgrade,
Mhm.
right?
I wouldn't say massive upgrade, but they got a
I
little
mean,
upgrade.
The
Bro.
Kenny Pickett was
Bro.
Have you guys ever, just really quick, I know I don't want to take up too much time, but have you guys seen the video of Russell Wilson talking about his danger witch or something?
Nah.
It's got to be the most cringy video on earth, bro.
I try
If
to
you watch
minimize
that,
my Russell
bro,
Wilson watch
if
time.
you go look up Russell Wilson danger sandwich. Watch it and tell me if you trust anything on that offense.
I'm gonna
please.
opt out to not watch it.
I'm a
Thank
pass
you.
on that.
Listeners, you guys watch it and let us
Go
know.
look it up, danger sandwich or
That's
something like
message.
that.
So, anyways, they got
Yeah.
Russell Wilson named the starter, right?
Okay.
They still got Pickens, which we talked about it before.
Fade.
Talented guy. Will he get the ball?
Mhm.
We don't know. He's the only one there, though. To be fair,
He really is. Him and the
Right.
tight end.
he's the only one there. Him and Pat Fryermuth, bro.
Fryermuth, yeah.
Unless somebody predicted they throw a bunch to Van Jefferson. I doubt it,
Roman Wilson.
right?
Right.
The more interesting part that fantasy-wise that I'm trying to invest or, see what's good with is the running back, right?
Mm.
Najee Harris, Jalen Warren, it's kind of like that same thing, ambiguous backfield, 50-50 split
Mhm.
on paper. Who are you guys investing in more so?
I think I invest more in Najee Harris just because he is the named starter, right? And Jalen Warren's dealing with some, what is it, hamstring issue?
Hamstring injury, yep.
I just think that they're gonna lean on Harris more. I just don't. I don't know if I want to take a risk on a guy that. I mean, he's not bad, right? Jalen Warren when he can get going, but
He's not.
But with a hamstring injury, I just go Harris.
Yeah, same. Najee Harris.
Yeah,
Should get
Makes
you
sense.
between like 8 to 12 points a game if he doesn't get lucky with a touchdown. If he gets lucky with a touchdown, those are some extra points for you. But around 8 to 12.
You take Najee Harris or Raheem Mostert?
That's a tough one.
Yeah, Raheem Mostert's injury
I think I'm
prone.
over Raheem Mostert.
Yeah,
I'd take
Mostert.
Mostert.
It's just a better offense to invest
Yeah,
in.
That's it.
it is.
Yeah.
Mostert.
Okay, DeAndre Swift or Najee Harris?
Swift.
Yeah, DeAndre Swift's going after him. He's ranked RB24.
Easily.
Probably
Yeah.
Swift, yeah.
Zamir White?
Yes.
Really? Okay.
I'm a Zamir White fan.
Raiders. Okay.
I will go with Najee, bro. Over
I might go Najee.
No. Zamir White fan.
Yeah. Yeah, I big fade on George Pickens. I'm just not a fan of that offense. I just can't. He's a great player. I'm just not a fan of the offense. If you go back to episode 8, you can listen to Players to Fade. I talk all about it. Let's go ahead and move on. Is there anything else? Actually, MFB? Sorry to cut you off.
No worries. No, nothing else really.
Okay, yeah.
The
Steelers.
Just real quick, don't play George Pickens. You will regret that decision.
All right, you heard it here first. Or actually, you probably mentioned in the last episode on Players to Fade.
I did.
Do what you want with that information. Let's move on to the Texans. This team's going to be a lot. They brought in Stephon Diggs and Joe Mixon. Obviously, CJ Stroud went, balled out last year. Did amazing things with Nico Collins and Tank Dell. And even Dalton Schultz, he had some solid games, tight end there. CJ Stroud's now he's a QB 6, I think, in drafts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And people are taking him earlier, people are taking him maybe not earlier than Anthony Richardson, but that offense, you have 3 really good wide receivers and a tight end who can also get things done. And then they brought in Joe Mixon to take care of the groundwork. Is there anything you guys don't like about this offense?
Love it.
Anything I don't like?
Yeah. Is there any player on that team
wise or like fantasy wise?
Let's say both, honestly.
Football wise, amazing.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
All the players top to bottom can produce and are like good, right?
Yeah.
Or running backs, Joe Mixon, Dameon Pierce. Dameon Pierce is a great backup. Right?
Yeah, definitely.
Like amazing backup, right? Joe Mixon, solid. So you have 2 RBs that bro, Dameon Pierce could probably go on a couple teams right now and start, be the number 1.
Yeah, but put him in Carolina.
the
Send
running
him over there.
backfield is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Receivers, bro, same thing, bro. Tank Dell could probably just go to New England and be number one, right? So
Easily.
they got crazy talent, bro.
Yeah.
Stroud also very talented, right? He doesn't really rush the ball. Maybe that's like the only if I had to pinpoint one thing, that's the only
right.
downside, right? But
right.
the offense is so high power. Now with fantasy, that becomes a headache because you don't know who's going to get the ball, right?
That's the complicated thing.
Right?
So I mean, these guys, do you guys like where they're being drafted? So and let's kind of go through them because, I mean, we know Joe Mixon. We know what he's done. We know what he's capable of. He's on my list of players to fade. Maybe I take it back. It's in the last episode. Go back and watch it.
Yeah.
Nico Collins is a wide receiver 15 going, right in the beginning of round 3. I mean, do you guys take him or Brandon Ayuk, who's ranked beneath him?
I'm going Ayuk.
Ayuk just signed a contract today.
I'm probably going Ayuk.
I'm going Ayuk, man. And then Nico Collins or Jalen Waddle?
Damn, bro.
I know, man. It's tough. These are, I mean, honestly, it gets tough, man, because these guys can all produce.
Mm-hmm.
But do you guys really see any of them just running away with it each game? Like just one guy just going crazy each game, or each player doing decent? That's
something that I've been thinking about, and that I kind of been changing my mind on, like swapping back and forth, right? So when we compare to Chicago, right?
Right.
Same thing. 3 talented wide receivers, right?
Right.
And I'm confident that will be like 1 week somebody will eat and the next week somebody else will eat.
Right.
With the Texans, I think like how their system will go is different. I think somebody will command the targets week in and week out. Who that is, I don't know. Right? So if we were to compare the two, Nico Collins and Stephon Diggs, right?
Right.
The reason their ADPs are like second round and like I forget where Diggs is, like 4th or 3rd round, maybe.
He's going at the end of the 4th round, yeah.
End of the 4th,
as wide receiver,
right?
25, yeah.
Like if we had fast forwarded to the 2025 draft next year, and we find out who got the target share, that receiver is going to be like a late 1st round pick.
Right.
You follow me, right? We just don't know this year who it is, right? Yeah. So you could roll Nico a late 2nd and say, oh shit, he's going to be the one. Or you could roll Diggs way later and be like, oh, he going to be the one.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
But one of them is going to be it.
Yeah. In my opinion, you take the later shot on like Diggs. I don't like Nico Collins because he might not be that one. You know what I mean? He might end up disappointing you. Personally, I take Cooper Kupp over Nico Collins.
Yeah. I just see now, and then right there, Kimo, what you just said is it's kind of like the inverse effect, right? Now you could have got him a year early, but now you kind of waiting a year out and seeing what's happening next year.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I'd rather be a year early on fading, right? That's my strategy. Now, I mean, you see it there.
Fair enough.
Texans, I mean,
just going back to your Jalen Waddle and Nico Collins, I'm going Nico Collins because I feel like Jalen Waddle has been injured each of his 3 seasons he's come into the league. Nico Collins, I mean, I was high on Nico Collins last year. I think I was actually telling Kimo and MFB that Nico Collins was a sleeper pick.
You were, you did mention that
all of last year, and so I like Nico Collins just because of how big he is. I feel like Nico Collins is like the DK Metcalf, and the Stephon Diggs is like the Tyler Lockett. Nico Collins make that big catch, you know what I mean? Take that hit. Stephon Diggs get open, get the ball, go a couple yards, get on the ground, and repeat. You know what I'm saying? So that's where I'm kind of leaning towards it. So I'd go Nico Collins over them.
Okay. Good analysis. I know. I mean, the information's good, and the listeners appreciate it. Let's go ahead and move on. Anything else actually for the Texans? I think we're done there. Oh, good. Let's move on to the Jaguars. MFB, talk to us.
Yes, sir. So Jaguars. I mean, T-Law has burned a lot of people last year. Specifically, Mr. Bench 550 over there.
Yeah.
That he talked about in the Fade episode.
Yeah.
I think
this is what happens when you fade the QB, folk.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, that whole T-Law take, you could listen to the last episode on the Fades, and you hear all about that. But let's move into the running back situation here, right? We got ETN still, who had amazing. He was top 5 last year, and we got Tank Bigsby, the backup, right? Mm-hmm. So I was somebody last year who I was predicting that, Bigsby would kind of eat more into ETN's work, right? Now, obviously I was wrong, right? But
Right.
that's a case of me being a year early, right? Now I think this might be the year where it occurs,
Uh-huh.
right? I mean, Bigsby profiles is a better goal line option than ETN. So that's
Right.
why last year kind of just made sense that he would get the goal line work.
Right.
So if he takes on more goal line work, it could lead ETN to, definitely underperform as a top 10 RB, right? Which is where he's being drafted.
Yeah.
But he's also like, I think ADP is like RB8. So if he falls like a couple spots, then he's definitely a good pick.
He's
right?
going RB9 right now, currently.
Okay, yeah, there you go.
Late second round.
Could definitely still be a good pick. But I do think Bigsby is like a very, like, especially the value where you're getting him, definitely a high value backup to take, for the slam dunk later on in the season if ETN ever misses time.
Look,
right. Go ahead.
I was about to say that honestly, I watched Bigsby get the ball a few times. He's not good. I don't think that. I think ETN will just keep that backfield running as long as he's healthy. I think getting him at RB9 is a great pick. I don't know. I don't see Bigsby doing his thing.
I think if anything happens to ETN, he gets injured. He had an ankle thing last season. I think he missed a game or he missed part of a game or something. I don't remember. But if anything happens to him in that regard, injury, then Tank Bigsby take over, kind of, But I wasn't too worried about Tank Bigsby taking over for ETN. This is my opinion.
I mean, this could be a shot I'm just completely wrong in, but I want to be right. You feel me?
Yeah. I know.
Going into the receivers, right? So they lost Calvin Ridley. They had him for a year.
Mm-hmm.
Still got Christian Kirk. I think he's a little hurt.
Mm-hmm.
They acquired Gabe Davis.
Right.
And they got this rookie who I slightly mentioned last week. If you listened, Brian Thomas Jr. from LSU, who played alongside Malik Neighbors. And man, this guy I like a lot, bro. If you see some highlights of him, he's nice.
Mm-hmm.
He's like that perimeter guy. Just man, like low key. All I'm saying is I was hearing comparisons of him to Randy Moss.
Whoa, there are.
That's all I need
crazy,
to hear.
yeah.
That's all I need to hear to drop
all right,
my
yeah. All right, let's calm down.
So if you want, like, sleeper shot, that might be the dude to take, bro. Brian Thomas.
Yeah,
respect it.
Yeah, no, I mean, honestly, rookie wide receiver where there's, I mean, if what's his name, Christian Kirk is injured, and he has to miss time. And it's just Gabe Davis, who's either going to get you 30 fantasy points or 3 fantasy points. Then, I think I'd prefer a rookie that may have like, huge potential. So yeah, I like that pick, MLB.
Yeah.
Preach.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, BBTV.
Did we talk about Evan Ingram?
No, we did not talk about Evan Ingram.
All right, let's talk about Evan Ingram. Bro. This guy loves Evan Ingram.
I love him. My God.
Yeah, for some reason. Yeah, relax.
I had him last year.
Congrats, man. Yeah, and you still lost.
Whoa, I got second match low.
Yeah, no, he's going actually not bad. He's tight end 8, so he's in a good value pick overall. He's going actually at the end of round 8 currently, but he's being drafted end of round 7. So he's being drafted ahead of his rank, about 12 spots or so. Do you guys like him there? Do you take him above Kittle or Pitts?
No, I'd rather have Kittle.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, then his ADP is probably right about where you get him, right?
Yeah.
If you can get him end of round 8, I mean,
phenomenal.
You'd fill out if you fill out your team and you have a bench player and you get Evan Ingram, like that's a solid team. It'll look really good. So look for him. If he falls, pick him up, man. He's a good pick. Definitely better than the next pick, Jake Ferguson. I would rather have Evan Ingram.
100%.
So yeah, good pick. Good value for where he's going.
Yeah.
Anything else on the Jaguars?
Nope.
All right, let's move on to the Titans, BBTB.
Yes, sir. The Tennessee Titans, you're AFC South. No, I'm just kidding. They're not going to win.
Yeah.
They ain't winning nothing but a trust. But I will tell you about the Titans. I do like them for fantasy, and I'll tell you why. Just because every single time, like I'll probably say like the past 2 years, not every time, but past 2 years, even though they have a losing record every time, they they still play hard. Like all those guys are trying to still like play the hardest that they can because they know they're trying to get paid. Like Will Levis beat out Ryan Tannehill at the end of the year. Will Levis is the guy. Ryan Tannehill not there no more. Same thing with D Hop. D Hop still played hard. Like D Hop was still a great flex pick last year. So
Yep.
I do like the Tennessee Titans fantasy wise. So Will Levis, I think he's a sleeper quarterback. I'm not sure who mentioned it out of Chemo and MLB. I think one of them mentioned it. I think, yeah, Chemo.
I'm a sleeper quarterback, bro.
Chemo said sleeper quarterback.
Put him on your bench.
Yes, 100%. You never know. Could go nuts. Could get you like 20 plus points. Could do his thing. Signed
Right.
Calvin Ridley. We just talked about the Jaguars. Came from the Jaguars. I think Ridley's going to be the wide receiver one for sure.
Right.
He's going to do his thing. They got that head coach, or the head coach is out. What's his name again? The head coach from
The
Tennessee.
old one I forget, but they have Brian Callahan now.
Brian Callahan. Yep. So I think that's an upgrade. Because they had 2 losing seasons, so they had to get rid of the old guy. D Hop is hurt, but he should be ready. I don't know by the beginning of the season, but he is a little hurt right now. So I don't know if you get him. I think he's going like round 9, 10 maybe. So I'm not too sure how to use my pick there. But yeah, and you also got Tyler Boyd. They picked up from Cincinnati. I think Boyd is going to be solid over there. I actually think he might overtake D Hop as the wide receiver, coming from the wide receiver 3 to the wide receiver 2. Boyd was actually a solid wide receiver 3 last year for the Bengals, and I feel like he's just going to go up from there. What else we got on here? We also have Tajay Spears and Tony Pollard. That's going to be a 1A 1B kind of split. Something on social media popped up where the head coach was like, he sees both of them as starters. He doesn't see as ones over the other. So I don't know. I don't really like that for fantasy. I'd be honest. So I really don't know who to pick in the draft because I think they're going around the same as each other.
Tony Pollard's going middle of the 8th round.
I've seen them go right next to each other in drafts.
Yeah, Tajay Spears is going later, actually into the 9th round, middle of the 9th round. So they're about a round apart in terms of where they're being drafted, according to this is Fantasy Pros rankings. But where do you guys take them? Who do you take over the other? I think we can all agree Pollard over Tajay Spears, or do you guys feel otherwise?
I got Pollard. I said it in a different episode before. I'm going Pollard over Spears.
Same.
But let's say if Pollard was taken from me, like sniped, then I'll go Spears and take the shot.
I'm risking it.
Do you take Spears or Brian Robinson?
Brian Robinson.
I take Brian Robinson. I'm
gonna go Spears.
Just known starter, listed starter. I take Brian Robinson.
Yeah, I was about to say just because he's just the listed starter over Eckler.
Yeah.
I do feel that. I think. Yeah, I think I'm still going Spears.
It's a coin toss,
if it
right?
pays out, it's like it's better than Brian Robinson, right?
Yeah,
so
could potentially
payout.
Yeah. Anything else on the Titans?
No, sir.
Okay, Ridley and DeAndre Hopkins. You guys like where they're being drafted? Do you guys are you fading anyone of those two guys? Are you fading both?
I think it's tough to say because, Titans, we look at last year, their receivers were like nobody, right? Now all of a sudden they got one of the deepest receiver rooms.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So, as far as the value where they're at, it's going to be one of those things. Again, and we have to see what happens in the season to really know what's going to happen. Mm-hmm. Right? We don't know who's getting the ball, how many targets, who, you know what I mean? So
I'll name some players around these guys: Calvin Ridley or Deontay Johnson.
Oh, Deontay.
I'm probably hitting Deontay too there.
Yeah. Same. Deontay. Keenan Allen or Calvin Ridley?
I'm gonna go with Calvin Ridley on that one.
I would go Keenan Allen.
I lean Keenan Allen. Okay. Yeah, DeAndre Hopkins, he's injured. It's hard to tell where to take him and whatnot. If you trust him and you think he's going to do good things, he's a beast. But yeah, if you trust him and you think he's going to do good things, you could take him. He's going in the middle of actually, he's going late in the 9th round. So it's not a bad value for the type of caliber player he is.
I was about to say, just honestly, if you don't know the pick that you're going to get, like, because I think they're all going either round 8, 9, or 10, I'd probably say just stash them on your bench. And worst comes to worst, 3 or 4 games in, if they're not producing, just drop them. You know what I mean? But I'd say just like,
yeah,
take a gamble on that in like your later rounds, you know?
Yeah, at that point, it's a bench spot. But those are the spots that can win you the league. You know what I mean? So those are the picks that could win you the league.
That's true.
Let's move on from the Titans and go into the Colts. So Anthony Richardson back from injury. He had a shoulder surgery, right? To replace something in his shoulder. Was it torn labrum or torn something? I don't know.
Yeah.
But he's back. They have Pittman as the receivers and Josh Downs, who currently is questionable with a high ankle sprain. He's supposed to be. They're hoping he starts week 1, but he's been missing practices. And then the third wide receiver, there's Adonai Mitchell.
Adonai.
Sorry, my bad. Thank you for
get it right.
Correcting. Thank you for correcting the pronunciation there. Jonathan Taylor's still the RB1. Obviously, he's going super high in the draft. I think round 1 or end of round 1 being around 2. Tight end is some absolute Randy, Kylan Granson. Do not touch him under any circumstances. Like, literally don't look for him. Yeah, how do you guys feel about Anthony Richardson coming back? He was kind of on a tear. I think the game that he got out, he had like 20 fantasy points at the half or something crazy like that.
He's a menace, bro. He's good.
Dude,
I like him.
Dude went into the locker room, was like, sorry, my shoulder got destroyed on that second touchdown I ran in, so I'm out for the season now. Like, bro, what a letdown. But dude, he was a steal last year going like the 9th round. Yeah, you guys like him at QB5? Do you guys put him above Stroud where he's going? Or is that too much?
So
are you guys scared?
My thing is here, man. So obviously my knock on like for fading Stroud, right? In the last episode was because he doesn't rush, right?
Yeah.
Anthony Richardson's kind of like the polar opposite, bro.
Yeah.
All he does is rush.
Yeah,
but it's like you want a QB that can do both. Right?
Yeah.
For fantasy.
Draft Kyler Murray.
Anthony Richardson, bro, like if we even talk about the connection between him and Pittman last year, it wasn't amazing.
Right.
Have they worked on that in training camp? Who knows? Right.
Right.
But I think like his ADP is way too high to like really justify the price, right? Like, because his throwing ability is just not like really there.
I mean, yeah, but for fantasy purposes overall, are you talking about Pittman or are you talking about Richardson?
Richardson right now.
Okay. I mean, yeah, I think overall, I mean, beginning of round
he's going like QB5, right?
That's correct. Beginning of round 5. And actually, I think CJ Stroud's being drafted before him on average.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, I don't know how you guys feel about taking him beginning of round 5. Do you let him fall to you and take him like beginning of round 6, or what do you guys do with that?
Since I don't know, I think I would rather just let him fall.
Okay.
I don't know, just because Richardson, he's coming off of an injury. The coach sees how solid he was last year, so I don't know if the coach is going to run with him as much as he did those first few games that he was playing. So I don't know.
Yeah.
And then you get MVP saying it. Richardson, his arm is not that sick, so running a little bit less. His arm isn't the best. Do I really want that risk? You know. So
there is definitely some risk there. But if he says, you know what, screw it, dude, I'm not doing it. All this throwing, I'm just going to start rushing because it works for me. I mean, then there you go. He could be what we thought Justin Fields was going to be, right?
Yeah.
Just with all the rushing. Yeah. So I mean, I think he's okay for where he's going. I'm probably gonna skip on him and maybe take Kyler Murray instead. Just wait a little bit longer. That's just me. Pittman, you guys just talked about him. You guys said that Anthony Richardson's arm sucks. So Michael Pittman's going wide receiver 21 around DJ Moore, Devonta Smith, Malik Neighbors. Do you guys like Pittman above any of those guys or no?
Man, I probably got Pittman below all those
I was
guys.
just about to say that.
Amari Cooper?
Just Pittman slightly above Cooper.
Pittman.
Yeah, I take Pittman
Yeah.
above, yeah. I take him above Neighbors. I take him above Devonta Smith, the wide receiver 1. I just think that there's no one else. Josh Downs is injured. He was injured last season. He's coming off a high ankle sprain. The third Adonai is the third receiver, and then some Randy for tight end. Bro, Pittman's gonna get 12 targets a game, guaranteed. I'm not even a Pittman fan. I never cared for him, but he's literally gonna get 12 targets a game, like easily.
He does, but it's like bad. It's actually bad targets.
I mean,
he just the other times the homie just rushes the ball.
This is true. I mean, look, you do.
I mean, yeah, I get you. Yeah, you want to follow the volume. I like following the volume.
Look,
it just didn't pay off too well last year.
Well, yeah. Well, Anthony Richardson got injured week 5, or what was it? Like week 6, maybe?
Oh, no, well, here's the thing. Once he got injured and Minshew was in, Pittman was cool.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah, he was solid.
Makes sense.
Hey, Anthony Richardson gets injured again. Guess who the backup is?
Joe Flacco.
Joe Flacco.
Hey, there we go, bro. We good. We good. Yeah. If you're not sure about
Joe Flacco,
if you're
42 years old, bro.
Hey, man, if you're scared of Anthony Richardson, you don't want him to get injured again. Just take Michael Pittman, and you'll be all right. If he gets injured, you'll end up benefiting.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's about it for the Colts. You guys have anything else on these guys?
Ain't nothing on Jonathan Taylor. Does he bounce back? Does he not?
Good question. I mean, he's going currently as the RB4 after, let's see, it's Bijan. Yeah, it's Christian McCaffrey, Breece Hall, Bijan, and then Jonathan Taylor. Do you guys take him? Jahmyr Gibbs, Saquon Barkley, Derrick Henry?
I don't know.
Question marks.
It's question mark just because of what Anthony Richardson could do in the goal line. When he was playing those 5-6 weeks, he was rushing it in a lot. And so if Jonathan Taylor, if that takes away, is he really worth a first round pick? So I don't know. I would say I'm taking Barkley. I'm taking Henry.
I'm taking Derrick Henry over him.
I'm taking Barkley because Hurts never was rushing it in unless it was 1 yard line tush push kind of thing. But if it was on the 3 or 4, Swift was getting it in because I had Swift.
How about Kyren Williams?
No, I'm gonna go Jonathan Taylor on that one. That's where I go.
I might go Kyren Williams. I know they drafted a rookie, but I might actually go Kyren Williams.
I think I'm kind of been leaning recently into more Taylor.
Really?
Definitely more Taylor. I mean, he was just injured a lot last year, right?
He was, yeah.
If you look at the coach's running scheme, it was a fantasy goldmine. Look what they did with Zach Moss. I feel like people forgot, right? Like how crazy Zach Moss went last season.
Yeah.
Now imagine you put in Taylor.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
True.
So I think people forgot, bro. So he could go dumb this year. And that's why his ADP is so high.
I think I take him above Jahmyr Gibbs. Well, just because I don't know about his injury. These guys are all kind of close to each other. You can take a shot at any of these guys, really. I'm not really too... I think you take whichever one falls to you between Jonathan Taylor, Saquon, Derrick Henry. It just depends on your position in the draft. I think it's not a bad pick where he's going, but yeah, you can pick as you wish.
I think Taylor had that contract issue last year too, like during the season.
Yeah.
He was sitting out a couple games a little bit.
It led into the season, right?
Yeah.
That sounds familiar.
So I think if Jonathan Taylor was still there, you know what I mean? If Jonathan Taylor didn't sit out those games, he would have had a crazy season last year.
Yeah. No, that's true. I mean, I like him. I think maybe I guess I would take Jonathan Taylor over Kyren for sure. But between Derrick Henry and Saquon, it's a toss up. I don't know.
Henry Saquon, dude.
Yeah.
High powered offense, like those top 5 NFL offenses right there. For sure. That's me.
Yeah, there's a lot of things to consider there. But Jonathan Taylor, he's good. He's going to be on a decent offense. They don't have a lot of throwing options, but he's a beast. He's done it before. He can do it again this year. That's about it for the Colts. Anything else, guys?
No.
I'm ready to
Okay. All right. Well, this was episode 9. It was supposed to be just AFC North, but we're trying to cram in all these episodes before you guys do your drafts. We might not get them all in. We have another episode. We're going to do AFC East, AFC West. Tune in, listen in, get all the info you can, or all the info you need. Hopefully you don't draft before the episode comes out, but we'll see you guys on the next episode. Peace.
Sir, peace.